Hey John, how's it going? Just getting ready to get this ready for some more. I've done 3 tanks in this thing now. I'm down to the last bit of idle tanks. The weather really sucks here today. I was hoping it would be better, but to no avail. So I'll finish the last bit of idle tanks, I guess. So this is a Serio Connie #1 edition 8-port 21, and this is an X-ray buggy. Hey, all aspects. BGRC, I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Welcome. It's a very nice looking engine. It's one of the ones that I just picked up the other week here. Brand new engine. The buggy's also new to me, so I got it off of. I don't know if you guys have seen him in my live streams, but it's Mini Mechanical. Usually is how he comes up in there. And so anyway, I picked up the buggy from him when I was in Edmonton for business the other week. Man, I've got so much of this old Hobbyco after run oil. I must have like 8 jars of it. I swear to God, it's the same thing. It's just ATF. Just before I start with that there, I'm sure you guys see the hose hanging off the side here. So what I do for my break-ins, I don't know, everybody does things a little bit different, but what I do is I'll put this hose down into an old washer fluid jug and I'll fill it with a little bit of soapy water, and then all the oil and everything collects in that jug instead of making a big mess in your shop or shooting oil everywhere or everything else. It just runs down into a jug under the bench, and then the steam that comes out of it, generally, it knocks the majority of the nitro fuel smell and burniness out of it, and it just drops down into that bucket. And it makes it, and it's way quieter when you do it that way. So I like the Sidewinder 2012 or 2010, especially for break-ins. And I run this is the 2012, and I generally run this for break-ins or any of the vintage stuff. But the nice thing about it is any of these fuel jug tops screw right on, so it makes it super convenient. Yeah, so I'll run 4 tanks of just like heat cycles, and I'll bring it up to temperature, and then I'll let it cool off a little bit, and then I'll bring it back up to like 250, 260. Then I let it come back down under 200. Then I bring it back up again, and I'll do that till the tank runs through. And I generally run 4 idle tanks before I run it on the street. Especially on some of the high performance engines, I like to run at least 4 idle tanks. Some of the cheaper stuff, and it depending on the engine. I've had some engines where they're so tight that you actually end up having to run them outside sooner because they keep stalling on the stand till they break in a little bit. Hey Pimp, thanks for coming. Hey Bob. Yeah, I find, and it depends. Like some engines break in so easy and so effortlessly, and then some manufacturers and some engines are the most ignorant thing ever to break in. Like this F 46 that was in this thing was a crank, like to break in. I tell you what, it was not easy. But I find that with a lot of the Horse and SH stuff, you'll either get a really good one or a really ignorant one. It flip flops. But so this one I'm still waiting on an on-off switch, so I have to plug it in. It's kind of hardwired in. So, but this thing is very tight still. Like even though I've got 3 idle tanks through it right now, it doesn't even want to roll over past top dead center until it's warm. Like I got to get this thing up to over 200 degrees just to be able to fire it. And my bench heat gun of choice is just a cheap ass Wagner heat gun. This is the one that I leave on my workbench all the time. And then I have a cordless one that I run out in the bag outside, but I just find the corded ones pump out way more heat. To the point where I gotta watch this gun because I'll actually take all the tension out of an exhaust spring if I put it too close. Almost there. There we go. Okay. Prime it a little bit first. Oh, there, you stop. It always does that. Oh, I think my battery box is dying. I forgot to recharge that. I always have to keep the idle a little higher until it warms up a bit. And the head heater helps kind of get it up to temperature. See? And it's way quieter with the pipe on. If I take that off, it's pretty obnoxious. Here, listen. See how much quieter that gets? $220. Almost there. The idle's being able to come down more all the time too, which is nice. The more it gets broke in, the better it gets. Yeah, Bob, the only thing I find with some of these older engines, if you find them new and you put too much heat in it, just colors the anodizing on the old style of head. The new stuff can take it, but the old ones they just color bad. There you go. Pretty good. See, now you can hear the difference. It's up to temperature. You see the difference in the smoke? Like there's hardly any smoke in here now because of the jug underneath there. So I had it up to 250 before I started that, so it was up there. But I just find some of these engines, this one in particular, is sticky. I don't usually have that problem with OSs, but the Serios, the pinch is so strong. Maybe so, Bob. I don't like to run mine that hot, though. I'm not a racer. I like my stuff to live. I like more the 250-degree tune. But generally. But then once they're broke in, I don't usually check the temperature in them anymore. Oh yeah, you're ripping them and chasing them down the track. They go way up there. Like I said, I mostly only ever check my temperatures when I'm breaking stuff in or trying to bench tune it. Other than that, I don't check it anymore. I just go off of ear. Yeah, everybody does theirs a little bit different. I've modified my break-in method is different than everything else I read. And it's a mishmash of between HBI's method, OS's method, Trax's method. I just figured it out what works for me. Everybody does things different. And again, it also depends where you live in the world. I mean, if you're in a hot climate like Pimp, you know, you can get away with not quite being as thorough on your break-in because your temperatures are so high on your ambient temperatures, but can't get away with that here, not where I live. $2.30. Nice. The only other thing I like to do is prop the ass end up so that the fuel pipe drains. Like it'll drain out that way and down into the jug. Otherwise I find it drowns itself. Oh, it's slobbery. That's good though. And I do like to give it the odd blip when it's this far along into like the 4 tank-ish range to clear the pipe out. I never touch the throttle on the first 2 tanks. Not if I can avoid it. I mean, sometimes you get screwed and you don't have much choice. Yeah, like I said, I like to watch the heat cycles. See, I had that up around 240. Now I'll let that bring down till it gets under 100 or under 100 and under 200. My God, tripping on my own words. Under 200, and then I'll bring it back up again, and I'll do that till it runs out of the tank. And then I'll do that for 4 tanks, and then the 5th tank, I'll run out in the street, and I will run this fat like rich until I hit at least a quart, until I run a full quart through it. Now I'm at 196. Yeah, I think Trax's braking method is the worst. I don't understand. And those engines are so fragile at the best of times. I don't understand why you would even want to try that. I'll even run 2 idle tanks on through something if I don't know 100% that it's broke in. If I don't know, I assume it's not. A little warm that time. 280. Got a little hot. Already threw half a tank. Yeah, why would you risk it? The nitro engines are getting harder and harder to come by now. You don't want to risk wrecking one. Not, I mean, I remember being a kid and not wanting to break anything in, and you're just like, ah, fuck it, good enough. And then the next thing you know, it doesn't last. And yeah, you just a good break-in will make the engine last. I got some Traxxas engines with like 4 or 5 gallons of fuel on them, and they're still just like brand new. And you'll hear people that'll say they won't even make a gallon. Yeah, they're just too hard to get now. I would try if I got a vintage serial engine like that. The last thing you want to do is ruin it. That'd be a bad deal. What do you guys think of these wheels? I don't know if I'm sold on them. I don't know if I like these wheels or not. I was thinking I might take those off and put like race wheels on it, because I've had some bad experiences with spoked wheels and lasting. I agree. They're all like my children. Oh, beautiful. 225, it's holding on its own. I love it when the clutch bell gets that jingly sound. You know you got the clutch set pretty good. I only have one really real shelf queen, and that's my kind of my O'Donnell's buggy. I broke it all in, put it all together, test drove it a couple times, and then that's it. I haven't really driven it much since. I'm scared to break it. I'll take that off, let that cool down. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Todd's break-in method he tried to experiment with. It was pretty cool. He did it simultaneously. I think he did like 4 tanks, but he just basically heat cycled it repeatedly and never even shut it off once. And then he ran that engine. I think he's got like 5 gallons on it, and it lasted. It still lasted. It's an interesting theory. He did it all with a blowgun and a heat gun. He just would cool it down with a blowgun, heat it up with a torch, cool it down with a blowgun, heat it up with a torch, and he just kept doing that until he went through his 4 tanks of fuel at idle. I will say this serial engine has been pretty easy to break in. See what I mean about the smoke though? Like we've been sitting in the shop here, I can't even smell it other than I can smell the Dove soap that's underneath the bench there in that container. It just acts like a bubbler. And then you see the color of the water in there, it's black. Hey, JW. Be about 3/4 of a tank through there now. 196. Now I'll bring her up again. Here's a tone change when you get it warm. Yeah, I guess you could call that soup. It's pretty gross looking, but it's crazy the amount of oil that pulls out if you do it that way. Sure saves a mess in the shop. You don't end up with a snail trail that's running back and forth. Then once I get this thing broke in, I'll switch it over to 30% for the race fuel. But I always like to break in on a higher oil. At least that's my theory. I mean, I've broken my engines in on 30%, but I use that. I have a bunch of 30%, that's 16% oil. And that's what I'll use if I have to break it in on that. But otherwise, I don't use that. I don't like that high oil content. I find the tuning window is very small. I think that thing's gonna be snorty. Yeah, I've had some of these wheels before, and I've broke these spokes off when you land wrong, and you just cave the wheel in. They look cool and all, but they make me nervous because, like I said, I've broke a few of them. I know they wouldn't break if I didn't land wrong, right? Right. Nice low idle. Have a listen. Yeah. He's a little slobbery. But there's a lot of oil in that pipe. Whew. Maybe we'll fire that O'Donnell's buggy up after this, just because I haven't run it for a while. Once this is run out. I know it's not the most exciting thing to sit here and watch stuff break in, but less than an eighth of a tank to go. Cooled off again. Thanks, John. I find when they get closer to broken, your tune doesn't change much when you get them hot or let them cool, but when they're breaking in, the tune changes quite a bit from temperature. I find. Yeah, we're sitting in the single digits, zeros or single digits here today too, Bob. Not very nice. It's snowing right now. Wet. Nice, son. I wish. I was down at the golf course today helping them cut down a tree because the wind took the tree down laying across the golf course. Boy, I'm all full of sawdust. Man, John, you'd shit if you saw my old saw. It's ancient. It's probably a 30-year-old chainsaw. It's an old Home Light with a 19-inch bar on it. Zero safeties. Almost empty. Just a whisker in the back corner. It's funny, I took my saw down because a bunch of the guys were like, oh, we'll bring our saws, and they came down with stills and whatnot, and I brought that old Home Light saw down, and the other guys, one of the other guys' saws broke, so he's like, well, let's use yours. I said, okay, and they fell in love with mine because it's just a tank. It just chews. Weighs 30 pounds, but hey. I have an old Pioneer and an old Canadian. up in the attic. That Pioneer actually has a side draft carburetor on the side of it. Hangs out off the side like an old dirt bike. It's quite the chainsaw, but it's probably 40 pounds. Yeah, the Canadian I have is a 63cc. It's a big friggin' saw. It's got a 3-foot bar on it. Oh, there she goes. Come on, baby. Nice. Yeah. There. Now, let's see how much oil's in this pipe. I think there's quite a bit. Here, I'll move you guys over here. You can see it. I'll drain it out of in the garbage can. Bet you it's gonna be kind of gross. Yeah. Nice. Can't say he wasn't running rich. Even my golf carts are 2-stroke, John. I got both my golf carts that are behind me are both 2-stroke. The Reds engines are pretty tough, JW. I will admit, they're pretty tough. Oh, I gotta turn it. Forgot almost got to unplug the radio. I love the battery box setup in this X-Ray. It's so nice. Just waiting for my new batteries and my switch to come in. This is running the world's tiniest 2S LiPo in here. Just one of those little ones that's the size of a quarter. It's like that long and that high. Just a little wee battery. There. Let that cool off. Yeah, my golf carts are. So there's this one, which I just finished restoring. And then there's this one, which is my wife's Easy Go, which I've gone through. This one was rebuilt from the ground up pretty much. So I did everything on that thing. Nice, JW. I don't have a 721. I think mine are 521s. So, yeah, this thing's a nice buggy though. Like I gotta admit, like I love the top plate design, the battery box, the way the battery box is split up is really nice, and then the big bore shocks, fuel tank, the way the pipe's laid out. It's a pretty nice buggy. Like I said, I just gotta get a on-off switch for here, and then and I love how the braces all have like X-ray engraved on them, same as the axles. No. This is my O'Donnell's buggy with the Aero GTR in it. I don't know if anybody's seen one of these or not. They're pretty cool buggies. They're pretty rare. Do a bit of a second. I got a piece of there. A dime stuck to the back of the phone. So yeah, this is the O'Donnell's buggy. With the, I built this from a kit. It's pretty much brand new. So it's got the Aero GTR engine in it. It's got a platinum dynamite pipe, and it's got a Reds clutch and upgraded servos. You see all carbon fiber top plates. Yeah, so it's a pretty nice buggy. This engine was a bear to break in. So, but it suits this buggy for sure. Yeah, so yeah, I like the techno buggies to bash with, but I don't know what they'd be like to race with. But they're tough as nails. I'll give them that. But they're not very elegant. They're pretty. They're like running a tank. Like they're pretty sturdy. I can see that. There you go. This is the 53 MR. This one, I actually found it on Amazon, believe it or not. And I've had pretty good luck. I think I've bought like 6 of them now. And they keep coming up on Amazon. And I keep buying them when I see them. So you guys might want to keep that in mind. These keep coming up on Amazon. I don't know where they're getting them from, but they're coming up all the time. So I keep buying them. Yeah, whenever I see them pop up there, I snag them. I think I have a 83 somewhere on one of mine. I have a whole drawer. This whole drawer is nothing but pipes. There's an Orion pipe. Well, this one's an 83. This one. Yeah, that's the 83. I painted this because it just got so, like, I was experimenting with homemade powder coat. So I powder coated it. And now it's dusty from sitting around. But yeah. I wonder if the battery's still good in this thing. It has a LiPo in it. At least I think it's in this radio. Oh, there it is. I think there's like 40 buggies in that radio. Oh, battery's still good. I don't remember what I tuned this to for fuel. I'm pretty sure it's on 30%. I think. I'd like to test run it just to see. I haven't, oh, it's not this box that is set for. My other box. Set this over here for now. Fuck, I was spraying this sparkly shit the other day, and I got it everywhere. I'll take the drain out on me. Oop, sorry guys. Dynamite also made one, it was called a monster pipe. I have one on my one Hyper 7, and I'll tell you what, that thing is it's a rude, loud pipe, but my God, does it ever wake a buggy up. And I didn't even know what it was, Todd told me what it was. I think you're gonna go get some 30% for this thing though. I don't think it's, I'm positive this is not set for 20%. You know, this, Pecan's working like a champ. There we go. There, 30%. All right. We need some smaller or shim. This box has seen better days. It's my shop box. So it tends to be on certain buggies. You can find something small. This will work. Saw that coming. I don't know why my mid speed's out so far. got her pretty good there. I think I need an O-ring in my high-speed needle. It's moving. Okay, now I gotta open a window. Woo! Just a sec. Ah. Woo! Now I'm gonna have to find an O-ring for that high-speed needle. That's fine. I haven't run this engine for a while, so not surprised to have to find one somewhere. This is just a basic single needle. Fuck, I'm making a mess. Oh, I'm not surprised. Just one of these shitty nylon O-rings. There's no O-ring for you. What's more air? There. I am a little bit surprised there's not much runtime on this engine that it needs an O-ring, but it has sat for a while. I shouldn't be overly surprised. Come on. All right, take it over the top. Okay. O-ring. Not really, Lotus. She's a little quiet. All right. Too small. This one's too big. I will in a minute, once we get this O-ring changed. I just want to make sure. That's close. What was the last one you picked? That's it right there. No, so my exhaust fan that I turned on there will try and suck the big garage door in and sound like a hurricane when I turn it on. So that's what you're hearing. So because it pulls so much air that that's what you're hearing. Well, that's nice. There. That should do. That's nice and tight now. It's actually pulling snow in here. Crazy. It is snowing here, Lotus. That's why I'm not running outside right now. Okay. See if that fixes that tune issue. Should have sorted that out. That's not bad. A little cold. Only sitting at 150. There. tighten that properly. It's always the last wrench you're looking for. There it is. There. Before I forget. Yeah, Rick. So this is the O'Donnell's buggy. We were just doing some test and tune on it after we did a tank on the X-ray. So she's I haven't run a tank through this thing for a while, so I wanted to do a bench test tune, and then I had a bad O-ring in it, so we got that sorted. There. So that'll be, I wish the weather was better, I'd take it out and run it, but I really do not want to run this one in the snowy shit out there. Because it is far too collectible to get it all rusty. I would be awful upset. Not like I can go down the street and find another one. Not this one. I have buggies that I'll take out and beat up a bit, but not this one. Not much now, it's just dusting. It's like a cross between rain and snow. We only got a little bit left standing on the ground, and then that's all we got left here. So I'm counting the days till it's actually above zero. Be nice. I'm tired of winter. You can leave anytime. There. Yeah, I'm ready for spring. Do I have any Pico 5-port? Is that what you're asking about? The Pico 5-port? This back over on the shelf. Make sure the bottom is set. No, I don't have anything that small. No. Not this guy. It's nice to put a tank through that thing though. I will admit. My floor is a mess now, but that's okay. Yeah, I pretty much, I've tried to diversify my collection back to just be, I'm trying to stick mostly to 1/8 scale. So I had to pick a direction to go. So I picked 1/8 scale because I just found that I was all over the place. So I kept a couple of my 1/10 stuff like the Jado and stuff like that, but I've more or less just stuck to that. And obviously, buggies are my favorite. So that's kind of where I'm staying. Thanks, Hybrid. Appreciate that. I'm trying to make sure that I'm closer to the phone instead of wandering away and then you guys can't hear me. I have 4 Jados that I keep finding them in random places and then end up picking them up. Hey, Spectre. Well, here, I got to get your guys' opinion on something in a minute here. See what just a sec. See what you guys think of this. So, this Truggy is set up pretty pro with the exception of the fact that it has this LRP 32 in it, which has caused me no end of grief. And I'm thinking I'm going to pull that out. And this is the one that actually melted the glow plug to the top of the piston. And I cleaned it up, put it back together, and it's still running. So I kind of want to take this out and put a proper engine in it. And I was thinking about putting in this Works 28 7-port. What do you guys think of that? So I have this Works 28 7-port. I was thinking this would be a great home for that. So, you know how everybody shits on a LRP, or not everybody, but a lot of people shit on the LRP? This thing is so tough, it melted the glow plug out of the end of it and actually glued it to the top of the piston, locked the engine up solid. I pulled it apart, chipped the shit off the top of the piston, put the head back together, and it still runs. Like, yeah, I'd never seen it. I thought it was done when I was running it through the field. It was just screaming and just working like a champ. And then and then it just stopped and locked up solid. And I'm like, oh man, it's done. And then I brought it home, pulled the head off, and it had pulled the filament out of the glow plug and glued it to the top of the piston like a big grape. And I'd never seen that before. I'm trying to remember what this truggy is. I think it's a TC, like an associated truggy. Yes, it's an associated truggy. So I actually got this from a pro racer who set it up fairly nicely. It's got MIP shocks on it. And it was set up really well when I got it. And then of course, you know, it didn't come with an engine, so I happened to have an LRP, this 32, so I stuck it in here, set it up for a bump box, and it runs. It's rude as shit. It's got a JP1 pipe on it. And it does run good, but it always causes me tuning issues, this thing. So, and I've changed the carburetor to the new style carburetor. There's a rock stuck in my suspension. I didn't see. See if I can fish this rock out of here. There. Yeah, like it still has good pinch and everything, this thing. It's starting to get a little weak. But yeah, I'd like to make this thing a proper truggy instead of kind of a bastardized thing. I was thinking that Works engine would be a good home in here. Yeah, I haven't run this for a while, and I mean I've broken wheels on this thing. This thing flies like you wouldn't believe. It's set up so well, like it handles beautifully, and yeah, it's got a bunch of upgrades on it. It's got the upgraded battery box. It's got all the upgraded servos. It's got Savic servos in it. It's a nice buggy. The guy I got it off of was, like I said, he's a pro racer, and he had it set up, and he used to compete with this. It had an OS in it, and he kept the OS. Hey, Minnie, we were actually just finished running the X-ray a minute ago. So yeah, I was a little bit. I put it away the last time because I was pissed off at this LRP, and so I think that Works engine will be a great home for this. No, not in the last little bit, Lotus. Yeah, I love the JP pipes. The only other engine I thought about possibly putting in this thing, other than that Works. I mean, you guys let me know what you think. But I thought about putting this VG in there. I got a brand new VG30 that I could put in there. I mean, we can see if this old bird will fire up. It may. I don't know if this engine can be quite cranky. I don't even know. Let's have a look and see. I don't even know if there's a battery in it. There is a battery in it. Now the question is, what radio's in it? Oh, here it is. Good thing I label everything. Yeah, seems like it. Let's see if it'll run, I guess. Let's give it a go. I think I'll throw 20% in it though. Don't want to waste my 30%. Okay. Let's give it a little bit of heat. Man, I must have been mad at this thing when I put it away last. It's not even very clean. I wonder. Should check that glow plug. I can't remember if it was shot. Or I get too carried away. Ooh, it's hot. Yeah, my starter box is getting weak too. I would say that glow plug is boogered. My other glow igniter. Yeah. That glow plug, no bueno. I have another battery for my box too if it decides it doesn't want to cooperate anymore. Nope, I knew I lost that washer off the end of it. Man, I hate this. That one sucks. There we go. There. All right. Try that again. What the fuck is that? There. I'm gonna have to change that battery box. It's too weak. One sec. I don't like that. Why is that so weak? The crimp is not very tight. There we go. sounds better. Not too bad. It's a little rude, this thing. The associated, what is that? Oh my God. I'm drawing a name, blank on the name. It's an associated truckie anyway. Yep. And that's an LRP Spec 4 32. Whew, I turned the fan back on. I had to look at my other buggy. I knew B4T. Associated B4T. That's that same engine I was just telling you guys about that nuclear melted that glow plug in there. I haven't done anything to it other than scrape the shit off the top of the piston. I will say, I have shit talked these, and this thing is bulletproof. I have done nothing but abuse it. I think this is the fourth RC this engine's been in, at least. Temp's good, 230. This is the upgraded carb pimp on this one, because the original carb, I got destroyed it trying to get it out. I'll show you. I can't find it. I'll find it in a minute. That's almost out of fuel. That's why it revved up. I was wondering what was going on. Wanted to run that little bit of fuel out of it. Hobeo 30, if you change that carburetor to a Novarashi carburetor, fits right on, then it definitely solves that engine issue. The Hobeo 30 carburetor is cranky as hell. It's just very, very small adjustments. There it is. And at the bottom. Radio off. There. I guess I'll leave that alone. I don't think that I will change that engine. I think I'll leave that alone. What do you guys think? Should I leave it? Yeah, I got a truckie from Joe a while back, and it has the Hobeo 30 in it. And Joe had an awful time trying to tune it and trying to get it to run properly. And I struggled with it a bit till I finally got pissed off at it and threw a Novarossi carb in it, and then it seemed to sort out its issues for sure. But yeah, so that's the my associated truckie. I was thinking about putting the works engine in it, but I think I might leave it alone. It is awful fun to run with that LRP in it. Later, Lame Duck. Thanks for coming, buddy. Man, I'm making a mess today. Whew, that one made my ears ring. Yeah, SH had a 30 a long time ago. I think I got one somewhere here. That Baja's nuts loud. It's fucking crazy loud. The only thing I have left to do on this is some road tanks now, and I also want to cut this window out for the fuel. When Jay painted this, he didn't cut this out, which is good, which is fine by me. I just I like cutting them out because I use it for fuel. But he did such a nice job painting it, I'm almost scared to cut that piece out. Hey, BBT. What is this? Oh, good. Smoke cleared out, shut the fan off. Thing's loud. That's better. Now I can hear things. I'm just gonna put this battery on charge. 1 sec. There. Never could hear you, Lotus. That was kind of stupid, I know. But now I can hear my myself, I guess. Oh, yeah, like I said, now this thing's down to road tanks and some tuning, and then she'll be ready to rock. Oh, and I got to put a start stop switch in. That needs to get done yet. Oh, and it looks like we got to cut this exhaust hoop out a little bit further. That'll melt that out if I don't cut that out. Because the body doesn't quite want to lay down on that. I like the body clips that are bent, because they're a lot easier to get into place, especially when you got fat mechanic fingers. There. Yeah, just like I said, just gotta trim this little window out. I'll do that with my Dremel later. I clean my radios. Really dirty. There. Yeah, like I said, just down to running tanks on that thing now. That'll be nice. Nice, Max. We'll be back to it here soon again as well, but we're not quite there yet. The way it keeps snowing and stopping and snowing and stopping, I could do without that for sure. It's a little bit longer yet before we get into it here, for sure. Yeah, like I said, I just recently got a truckie from Joe from Europe that has the Hyper 30 in it. And it would, like I said, it was a bit of a bear to tune, but I got it. You have to, and it takes really small adjustments before it actually decides to take it. It does not like big adjustments. I think that's why people tend to struggle with it. Yeah, well, I'm not running anything outside today yet, Lotus. It's not cold enough to keep the, it's just gonna be salty, shitty water. Everything ends up all rusty if I run it in this weather. And I'd rather not deal with rust. If there was enough snow, absolutely. But right now it's just wet, sloppy, gross, melty shit. Yeah, no, I don't. I like it when you get like 3 or 4 inches of fresh snow, or you got 3 or 4 feet, so you can actually drive it around. But when it's like this springtime stuff and all the gravel's on the road and everything, it just makes an awful mess. And it's just I find every time I do it and decide that I'm going to run it, I end up ruining servos and all kinds of other stuff. That did not ruin the garbage can. The only one he doesn't come into is this one, BBT, because we banned him ages ago and he's still banned. He doesn't come in here. Yeah, so he doesn't come in. He's blocked into this one. That's why you never see him in this one. I gave him so many chances and he just kept shooting himself in the foot. So he's not welcome here anymore. I think John actually, Nitro Addiction is the one that banned him the last time. And then that was the end of him for my streams. I'm gonna try and find I got this other old engine I found in my collection of stuff. It's an old STS. It's got good pinch. It's dirty. It's got good pinch, and it's I need to find a carburetor and stuff for it. But this one would be a nice project, I think. That's my problem with it, Lotus. Lotus. He gets belligerent for no reason, and then he goes off on these tangents about electric stuff. That's not fair either. Like we don't need that publicity in the Nitro community either. So it's just I struggle with that fella. Well, and that's just it. I mean, we like to have fun as much as anybody else. Like hybrid picks on the Arma stuff sometimes, which is good fun. and it's no different than a Ford guy picking on a Chevy or a Chevy guy picking on a Ford, but it's all in fun. But he takes it that next level to just a weird uncomfortableness. You bet. Like, I mean, I always hope that some major event in the world will change it around, and all of a sudden Nitro will become more popular all over again. And I know maybe I'm delusional, but I just like to feel like it's making a resurgence. Even my local hobby store where I got all those engines from, they said that it's just the Nitro popularity is increasing, and their business for Nitro stuff has just gone way up, and that's exciting to see. Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, I'll have more running soon. I just don't. It's a Sunday. I work tomorrow. I don't really feel like taking something out and then having to come back in and spend an hour and a half or 2 hours cleaning it to make sure it doesn't rust when I put it on the shelf. Yeah, because you can't just put them on the wash table and leave them, because then by the time you come back to it, bearings are all squeaky, everything's all fucked up, and I'd rather not have that, to be honest with you. Nice hybrid. I don't know what it is with Kyosho and their clutch springs, but their clutch springs are always weak. I find every kit that I ever have from Kyosho, the springs are lame. That's awesome, no leaks. So your exhaust sealed up and everything, so you're good to go, ready for a run. Well, I guess you did run it if you had the worst turning radius ever. I'm just gonna close this window. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna end it there. It's been 2 hours. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And we did a tank on the serial on the X-ray, and that worked out really well. And so this thing's ready for street trials. And then and we ran the tank through the O'Donnells and resealed that carburetor. So that was a productive day, all told, really. And then we also ran the the B4T, which is nice. So I mean, we got lots done. Really, I'm pretty happy with how today's live turned out. Thanks for everybody hanging out, and I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on Sundays. And I will try and be more religious about showing up on the Sundays. Not that I mean in a church reference, but I'll be showing up more on the Sundays. So everybody have a great week, and we'll see you all on each other's lives, hopefully on hybrids and nitro addictions, and I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a great. Yes, this is the Sirio County engine as well. I seen that comment. Sorry. Yeah, so we will chat again next week. Everybody have a fantastic week. Later, everybody.